Could you tell the new people what you know about Jasara and Nesara in like,
Well,
2, 3
here's
minutes?
something that I think your people will love, 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 love. Under Jasara and Nesara, okay, it's giving back all our rights and whatnot. But under it,
Mm.
you hear these all you people involved in like the RV and XRP and whatever. Well, I'll just stick to the RV people, okay? Under Jasara and Nesara, they're telling you it's a private exchange. Oh, they've got rates and all this other shit, and it's a private exchange and yada yada yada. Okay. Under Jasara and Nesara, your self-determination. Everything you do is a self-determination. And under that, everything is private. There is no public anymore. Public disappears.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go down the path of what public actually means, but it disappears. So everything is private. So just start hearing that. Global economic reform, all that good stuff. I'm sorry, it's all private. Why is it private?
Well, good evening, folks. It's 17 minutes exactly to 6 p.m. here in Costa Rica, and we got the famous Leana back by popular demand. So we're going to have some QFS talk today. But before we get started, folks, hit the pause button, go down below. There's a Rumble link. Go over to our Rumble channel and subscribe. There's also a link to our primary, secondary. Well, this is going to be on the secondary YouTube channel because my primary YouTube channel right now is in jail for 2 weeks. I'm in jail with Nicholas Vienneman, by the way. Him and I get at the same time. Subscribe, unsubscribe. Let's keep the algorithms confused. Okay, don't forget to join our Telegram group down below. Don't forget we got incredible merchandise now. That's at qfs1776.shop. qfs1776.com is the holy grail to the quantum financial system. And also, don't forget to share us on your social media. Leana, it's been a while since we talked. What's front and center? What's going on in regards to the quantum financial system? I know you wrote some document that you may want to talk about as well, or may not want to talk about. You don't want to give away the secret sauce, that's for sure. So welcome back.
Hey, it is so good to be back. Hi, Mel. You're doing awesome things. And people, stick with Mel. He's going to take you in the right places. He's just an amazing guy. Okay, so I am so grateful to be back. So the QFS, you want to start with that first?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So a lot of people comprehend, but don't really comprehend what the QFS is. And the whole thing that, again, Mel, we're talking to a lot of RVers, correct?
Yeah, a lot of RVers, a lot of XRPers, a lot of XLMers, a lot of
crypto people, elemental Ps, QRSs,
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people, they have a good concept of it, but they're not being told the actual complete truth about it. So I wanted to go over a few things about this. This has been around forever. Don't let people think that the QC, which they originally called the quantum computer, but it's not a quantum computer, it's quantum consciousness. So we're not going to get into the discussion whether the earth is flat or round. We'll just say it's flound. I'm not going there. But there's something called the divine thought fields, which is part of the quantum field, and all of that comes into here, and it brings through our sun, our system, and into our system, and that is what's called the quantum consciousness. I'm not going to get into that because that's an hour-long thing just in itself. The quantum consciousness, and that's why they called it a QC. That's where they got the quantum computer. They just initialed it. But the quantum consciousness is a higher 12 dimension. We are 12-dimensional beings. That's why we have 12 strands of DNA. I did a whole class on the quantum consciousness. And those 12 strands are connected. The quantum consciousness is an operating system, is a very nice way to say it, but it's not truth. It's true consciousness. It's part of the quantum field. And on that is a ledger system. And one of the things I like to say is everything in the third dimensional world mimics us. Everything. If you look at a computer, it is designed after us, after mankind, after the person, negate, after the being that we are. We have a consciousness. Our operating system is the divine essence of self. right? It comes into our heart. Our memory system is the 3D brain. So computers are based off of consciousness. And this is why what's coming, and you've all seen this, they're trying to merge consciousness into computers. Do you see this coming? They have, what's his name? Gates and all these people. They're merging chips into the being. And they're trying to take consciousness away. So what the QFS is, it's a ledger system. It's just an accounting system that goes and works on, it's placed on the quantum consciousness. Now, things like this have been around for years. And how I'll let you see that and prove to yourself if you want. You know those dollar bills that we handle? They are IOU notes. We all know this. And when you give them over, they are recorded. Everything you've ever spent in your life, whether you spent 5 cents on a piece of bazooka bubble gum or a penny when you were younger, it's recorded. And when you transition, when you leave this plane and die, whatever, they have to make an accounting because all your IOU notes must be paid off. So what they do is they go into your trusts. You have several trusts, not just a SQV, there's a SQ trust. You have several trusts, and they take these trusts, and they're worth billions and billions. Depends on how much you've contributed, but they're worth off the charts numbers, right? And then they look at the ledger and they say, okay, Mel spent $2 billion in his lifetime. His trust is worth $15 billion. They transfer the money to pay off your IOU notes. It's all done on this system, on these ledger systems, and they pay it off. And then if you had 15 billion and you spent 2, there's 13 billion in your trust too. That should be transferred to your heirs. And instead, because you've given up your rights to that and you were certified and they are trustee of that trust for you, they keep it. And you never see the money. And that's why we're all living in poverty, because this is our freedom money. And that's what it's supposed to be. That's here in this. So these trusts are what they're doing. So all those, how do they pay off all that? How do they track all those dollar bills? How do they track every penny you've ever spent? If there wasn't already a system in place. This system has been in place for years, this quantum consciousness. And again, everything is free will. And we, the people, go along with this. Therefore, it's happening. So the quantum consciousness, the QC, has always been around. The QFS, which is the quantum financial system, it's part of a ledger system. It's being placed on that. That is on the quantum consciousness. The intent of that by the white hats, okay? Again, everything is free will. The intent is that the money that is placed on this cannot be used for evil. Therefore, the quantum consciousness follows everything, just like they followed all our dollars for millions, for how many years, many lifetimes. It can't be used for evil. The gold that's allotted to the QFS, all these people talk about the buy one, the buy two. It's not truth. It's already been allotted. It's been sitting in there for years. It's ready to go. It's ready to go. Every, let's say one certificate, $1, whatever you're going to call it, on the QFS, it's already, the gold bars have been allotted. So there are serial numbers. So this gold bar puts out this many serial numbers. Maybe one gold bar is, and I have the numbers in my system, but I don't remember off the top of my head, so it doesn't matter. One gold bar might make $15 million. We'll just say it. I'm just making up numbers. And all those new numbers, all those new certificates, dollars, will be serial numbered. And those serial numbers will match the gold that's sitting. So every gold bar or every portion of gold is allotted and serialized. And then the currency is put after that. And that's why what you do with the crypto, the crypto will be blockchain, serialized to the same allotment, whatever it is. That's all been sitting in there, guys. That's not coming from Dubai 1, Dubai 2, this. It's not. It's been sitting there forever. They put it together. If you really think we're waiting for gold to be transferred, this world has more gold than we could ever know. It's all allotted, and it's all been set up so everybody starts in an even
What
playing.
are some of the estimates of the amount of gold that we have?
Well, let me just put it this way. If you, and everybody can do this, it's fun to do. Go to Google Earth, and you look at Google Earth and go to the Grand Canyon. You will see all the equipment. There's so much gold in the Grand Canyon, they stopped the mining to keep from people having too much. And they left all the equipment just sitting there.
Interesting.
There's so much gold. And we have the technology that we can see what the assets are in the ground. That, you know, you got to go into, again, what we spoke about divinity. There is no limit. There is no limit in divinity. There's none. You think about this. The temples in Egypt were made from gold. Think of building a building out of gold today. If all the temples were made of gold and everybody wore gold and everything was gold, where did all that gold go? It's unlimited. The source is unlimited. It's the same as oil. That's such a joke. It's crazy. There's no limit on oil. The earth just keeps reproducing oil. And if you go to any real Texan oil companies, they'll tell you that. They got to tell you, oh, it's in limit. Why? So they can jack up the prices. Everything has been falsely jacked up for them to make money off of.
Scarcity.
Yeah.
Scarcity.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, absolutely. We learned that back in grammar school. My friend Logan left me a message today on, I think it was on WhatsApp. He said, Mel, he goes, do you realize I went to some website and I put in my social security number because I'm worth $26 billion. So he's got 6,500 corporations supposedly trading him. And he goes, the average, corporations, I don't know, $25 or $125,000 per corporation. I forget exact number, but anyway, it's crazy. But supposedly he's got this website that, I don't know. Do you know about this website? You do. What do you know it off the top
I
of your
have
head?
it written somewhere in one of these files, but I can also tell you, I was speaking to a judge who was an ex-judge. I don't want to put his name out here either because I don't have permission. And he went through the rabbit hole and he found his SQV trust and he knows what it's worth. And he actually has the paperwork that
My question is, how do we go there and say, hi, my name is Mel Carmine. Here's my social security number. I'm worth $22 billion. I'm worth $36 billion, whatever the case may be. I want my money, bitch. How do I do that?
Okay. Years ago, what we used to do, because I did assist people in getting some of this out, but they're held, and I thought they were just trying to keep it from people because you have to sign that if you open your mouth, they take it back. But that's part of the trust. Every trust has an indenture, and part of the indenture is a covenant of privacy. So that's written in the indenture, that trust. So they really weren't being completely evil. They're evil with everything, but
Right,
it wasn't evil on steroids. They were keeping to the covenant of privacy in the trust. But what they used to do, and they took it out of the UCC codes, and people were so crazy. And I'll be perfectly honest. This was in the 80s. I was a lot younger and I was chicken. Because I didn't want to have my butt in jail, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I worked with an attorney and I knew how to do it. And he had the chutzpah, if you will, to say, yeah, let's do it. And I said, okay, I'll show you how.
Chutzpah, is that like Jewish for balls?
Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah.
Trying to be nice,
Yeah. It's
so
okay.
He had the chutzpah, if you will, to follow through. And we did it. Now, what happened in the UCC, this is how you used to do it. So as most people know, the front, your social security number is your account number. On the back, and I have this somewhere too, I could pull it up, but I don't have it handy. On the back of your social security number is a letter and a bunch of numbers. There are, I believe it's 12. Yes, I know it's 12. There are 12 Federal Reserve banks. The letter represents which account, which bank, which Federal Reserve bank that your trust is held in. And then the number following the letter is the routing number. And your account number, just like a regular bank, and your account number is your bank account number. So what it said, now this is what happens. when you were born, and we'll just take 2 seconds to go this to bring everybody up to the same page. And I know most of the people know this, but when you're born, all hospitals and birthing centers are foundlings. And when your mother and father, if you look at the birth certificate, it says mother and then father. And when they give the baby over to the hospital, it becomes their property because it's a foundling. And what a foundling is a foundling is a place where you can go drop off a child, turn your back, walk away, and not be in trouble. It's a place to drop off children. And that's a legal thing that is here. So when you have a baby and you let them take it and you sign the birth certificate, you are literally giving your child over. So on the certificate, you're a mother and a father. After you sign that certificate, you become parents because you're renting your child. And that money that belongs to you is now being leaned against because they become the trustee of that child.
Well, the name tells you all. Rents.
Yeah, you're renting your child.
Yeah.
You pay, and here's the kicker. Out of your own sweat and blood, you pay all the bills when all the bills are supposed to be coming from their trust.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, most people don't realize that the nurses and the doctors and the nurse practitioners and the nurse that delivers the baby, they have no idea what they're doing. They're just trained to do a job, and they're all compartmentalization is like off the record
They
scale,
have
right?
no idea.
They have no idea
they're
what
doing
they're
a wonderful thing, and here's a new life, and everybody gets excited. But what they do is the afterbirth is taken. There's a satanic ritual done with it, and you're considered dead. So as such, they take it. Now, years ago, in the 80s, in the UCC codes, it stated, remember, everything has to be told. In the UCC code, it said what happened, well, let me go back a little bit. That trust, it cannot be touched for 18 years or 13. I forgot the exact number. Again, I have documents I killed the whole forest printing out all these things that I've had for years. But whatever the age is, I believe it's 13 or 18. I think it's 18. Yes, it's 18. So you cannot touch that trust. No one. So for those 18 years, think about it. You're given, let's say, the kids today, I think, are starting out at $1 million. But let's say I started out at 250,000 when the dollar was worth more. For 18 years, that money is traded on trading platforms. Do you want to know what that's worth on the 19th year? It is buku bucks. And trading platforms are really illegal, but that's okay. So then what happens is, in the UCC code, it says you must open a trust. So you open and you create your own trust, a regular trust. Then the next step that you had to do was you had to claim your majority. Now, majority does not mean 51%. Majority means magistrate. Jesus went to India to claim his majority. He didn't claim 51% of India. He claimed his magistrate. Magistrate is your divine righteousness. So you had to claim that you were divine. You were under this beautiful trust document. This is the first trust, and all trusts are thereafter. So under this document, you claimed your trust, your dominion. And then as such, and you are of age now, you opened a trust, and then you had two choices. You would write a letter to this department, which was in the UCC codes. They've taken all this out. They made it harder to find. But you would write a letter to this the department, and you would say, okay, I claimed my magistrate, and and I wrote a trust. So I am of age. Then you had two choices. You could either do all the transferring of your money from one trust to another yourself, or they had a whole department to do it for you. You could simply tell the department, here's my new trust, transfer it, and they would do it for you. It was that simple. And what people started doing, this is why people ended up in jail. They found out about this, but they didn't read the steps on how to get it transferred to you. You're not the trustee anymore. The corporate is the trustee. So people started writing checks out against their account. Well, that would be like Mel, you coming into my trust that I'm a trustee for and writing checks against that bank account on that trust. You can't do that. You're not the trustee. And that's why people got in trouble and they all stopped doing it, because nobody really comprehended about trusts. So that's how easy it used to be. But now the UCC has all been taken down. Everything's been, it's
But
been
this is
destroyed.
all going to be part of Nesara Jasara. When they release the GCR, the RV, all this stuff, this money that they've been trading us on open platforms, whatever, since birth, they have to return that money to us, don't they?
Well, they got to do even more than that, because I believe it's 3 or 4 generations. When your grandparents died, they were supposed to leave it to your parents. When the parents died, they were supposed to leave it to you.
So we're all trillionaires.
You don't need an RV.
You don't even
You
need
really
the XRP. I'm if that's the case, I'm donating my XRP. I'm coming out publicly. If they give me trillions of dollars,
I know.
that's what I
But
need my
here's the
XRP
thing.
for.
If you're not educated, again, just because you get money, and I so try to stress this to people, just because you may make a great in the crypto world, XRPs, as Mel does, or in the RV, it doesn't matter. If your investments come to fruition, let's correct that. When your investments come to fruition, okay?
Right.
When that actually happens, doesn't mean you're going to be free. You're still under governmental obligation. You have to literally step back and claim your dominion. And you really need to know what you're doing. You just can't haphazardly do this. So,
but there's a bunch of people like you and David Straight and a few people that I interviewed recently, et cetera. And they all say, Leana's doing it right, but except she's missing these 2 pieces. And then I interview somebody else. David Straight's doing it right, except he's missing this 1 piece. You know what I mean? It's like I said, okay, if you guys know which pieces you're all missing, why don't we put you together and try to come to the most perfect product that gets you to be sovereign instead of trying to compete with each other.
We don't want to be sovereign.
Yeah, but whatever you want to call it, you call it something else. David Straight calls it sovereign. These other guys call it something else. Everybody's got a different name for it. Probably means the same thing.
Sovereign. The word sovereign, if you look it up, and everybody can do this, go look up the sove. Sove in the Greek means sleeping. Reign. You're reigning over the sleeping. That's still governmental obligation. Right. That's under the states. If you become a state nationalist, which we've done this before, a state national under the codes of everything that was written states that you owe a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. First of all, you're not a person. If you're a person, you're still in the government. Second of all, owing allegiance is an oath. What does the Bible say? Never take an oath. Thirdly, permanent allegiance to a state. You don't own permanent allegiance to anything but your divine creator. So becoming a national is not a good thing. And then people who become nationalists cannot, and this is true, you can go dig this up yourself. If you become a state national, you cannot be part of the General Assembly to take back the republic.
That means you can't vote.
Can't do a lot of things. You can't, but you can't be part of the republic. The state, you can get out of their system, but you're still under the state obligation. And state obligation is under the Constitution. The Constitution is a charter, and a charter is a corporate entity. So you're still under corporate rule.
Leana, how far are we from the Nesara, the RV? How far are we? It always seems like, wow, looking at it today, for example, all the moving pieces on the chessboard and what's happening in that country that starts with the letter U and over there with Putin and all the stuff that's going on in Israel, you say, we're close, we're almost there. And then you find out that we're not there.
Well, everything is in place. Everything is done in divine timing. And by this, I mean, honestly, seriously, they're waiting on us.
They're waiting for people to wake up and become 4th and 5th density.
If look at the world we're in. And everybody goes, oh, God won. Oh, I love this phrase. Oh, God won. God won. Really? Have you looked around out there? A lot of people that I know are suffering. Therefore,
and they're still wearing this. Yeah. And they're still wearing this. And they're still doing this.
Yeah. And no medical stuff.
Yeah. We don't talk about that anymore.
No, you're not allowed. You get kicked off. So, we haven't won. The minute we win is when we, the people, take back, and they're not showing. Now, I got to give credit to outside America. And I love this great nation, better than anything. But we have been dumbed down so much that I know people looking from outside our country, inside our country, can see everything.
Yeah.
People in our country can't. They've got like these things on. They don't see anything. They focus on only what they're told to focus on, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they believe the narrative. They believe the fear and everything that's being pumped daily on the TV. The lies. And the rest of the world, I mean, they don't even show you the revolutions that are happening outside of our country. And we're all sitting here like waiting for, and a lot of people, there's a lot of people who aren't, but most people are waiting for somebody to save them.
It really is. It's frustrating. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know why we don't have you on like every 2 weeks instead of like every 2 months.
Because I'm really busy.
You got to talk to Susanna. You got to talk to Susanna and say, hey.
You have to talk to Susanna.
Yeah, I got to talk to Susanna and get her on every 2 weeks. Seriously, our audience loves you. Seriously, when they see you today, they're going to freak out. Oh my God, we were supposed to do a promo. We just didn't have the time. Put it in the Telegram
Hi,
group.
everybody. I love everybody. I get myself in trouble because I love everybody. I see the good in everybody.
Exactly.
Sometimes comes around and gets me right in the butt cheeks. A big chunk taken out.
So anyway, it's a frustrating thing watching this New World Order. It's been frustrating on a lot of people. I gained my fair share of about 17 pounds, you know what I mean? And it's gotten me lazy. I haven't worked out since this whole thing has started. I'm, trying to build a television network because I've said years ago, television's moving to the internet. I said that before YouTube was even born. And people say, what are you talking about? Yeah, okay. I'm telling you guys, we're going to have flying saucers. In 10 years from now, you say, holy shit, Mel was right about that one too. We got flying saucers.
Oh, wait, that's the new narrative coming. That's the new fear tactic. We're going to be invaded soon.
Oh, no, please.
That's coming. Did you see what they're doing? They're making cyborgs out of people. It's incredible what's going on.
They're throwing so much fear porn out there. It's ridiculous. People they always contact me privately on Telegram. Mel, what do you think about this? I'm like, relax, take a chill pill. It's all bullshit.
And this is what I want to say to people. There's only 2 powers on this planet. Everything good comes from divinity. Love. Divine love is all the good emotions. Joy, bliss, happiness, trust. Everything satanic comes from fear. And that's worry. Yes, worry is satanic. When you worry about stuff and you don't have faith in who you are, when you're in fear, oh my God, the world's coming to the end, the Martians will land, blah, 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 all this stuff that they're throwing at. Because, and this is so divinely true, I ask everybody, just close your eyes and listen with your heart and see if this resonates with you. When you turn and renounce the divine light, we'll call it the light, when you turn your back on the light and you do these satanic ceremonies, the divine code, your creation ability, is taken from you. Mm-hmm. Therefore, satanic realm cannot create. They can only amplify, intensify, and magnify our creations. So they have something in that movie, The Matrix, nailed this through and through. They have something called the Matrix. They can't power that without us. They need us. The minute we have an emotional charge, let me tell you how many billions of volts the human body puts out. It's off the charts. And the minute we get emotional, rage is the greatest thing they want. Look at all these riots. Look at the wars. All that is precious energy.
Yes. Bingo.
And that energy goes to the satanic platform. Yes. And it feeds it so they can continue to keep us enslaved. The minute you turn on your light bulb and you take the divine consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the divine righteousness that is you, and you light it up, and you can see it. It comes out of your eyes. It comes out of everything. Darkness cannot have any power over you. You are not feeding their system. You are claiming your divine righteousness. And darkness cannot exist where there is light. So you got to get out of fear.
Yes. I get people sending me private messages on Telegram all the time. And I just told somebody, I forget who, like yesterday, I said, relax. They want you to be in stress. They want you to be in fear because that's how they're going to feed off of you. You said the same thing in different words, but it's the same thing.
Yes. And what you focus, and I say this all the time, I said it last time, we'll say it again. What you focus on is what you believe. What you believe is what you create. What you create is what you become. When you hear people go, oh, I'm worried, why? Because you focused on things that upset you and made you worried. So you believe that.
Thoughts become things.
Then you created that, and then you became that.
Yes.
Change your focus. And if you just have an inkling, if you go in your heart and you know there's something bigger and better, it's the Christ light, it's the Christ consciousness, it's your divinity. We can name it a million things. I don't really care. It's actually the photon belt in science. It's all kinds of things. But if you trust that, you'll be taken care of. Everything. You know, they used to call me Midas because everything I touched turned to gold because I never worried. I know who I am. I can create whatever I want. And no matter what anybody tries to do to me, I'm okay. Even if I was to be taken out, it doesn't matter because this is just a shell. I'm still going to be the light that I am. Doesn't matter. So what do you worry about? What's the worst that can happen to anybody?
Do I look like the kind of guy that's worried?
No, you're not, but there's a lot of
I know, I'm just saying, I'm being sarcastic. I'm like, I don't give it, they could land the nuclear bomb here. You know, if we get hit by a nuclear strike, I hope it hits me on the head, takes me right out, you know, immediately.
No,
right?
That's what I say. I'll just put my head between my legs and kiss my
getting back to the gold. I recently interviewed Captain Kyle, and he said, and some people went freaking crazy in the comments. He said that there's more than a quintillion tons of gold. More. And people were like, you're out of your mind, Captain Kyle. And you just said
you can't. The third dimensional brain can't even wrap around how much gold is there.
Yes.
I think he's short on that because the old numbers, and if you know that there's quintillions, there all kinds of numbers. But if you look how they write it, it's 10 with the 3 and then like 20 zeros. No, it's 3, then the 10, another 3, and 20 zeros. What that means, you take that 10 with the 20 zeros, you multiply it by itself 10 times, you multiply all that by itself 3 times, and then you multiply the whole thing 3 times. That's like 6 billion zeros. You can't even, we don't even have words, I think, to go that high.
Yeah, well, people think that, you know, that the gold that has been confiscated supposedly at the Vatican and the gold that's in the Philippines and the gold that's all over the world, you know, this has been going on for 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 5,000 years. People think, you know, it started during when we called the dollar off the gold standard during Nixon. No, this has been going on forever, for a long, long time.
This has been going on for more lifetimes than people can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. So, but because people are, you know, naturally distracted with all the bullshit, you know, and there's people like us that pay attention. They're coming around, Leana. They're coming around. Slowly, they're coming around.
Oh, I have to tell you, you're so true. I had to deposit a check, and I had to cash a check. So I went through the drive-thru, and in the lane was the old banker. And I made friends with him back in the day, and his wife was sick. She got a dog, and our dogs became best friends. Well, he was a Biden fan through and through. Are we allowed to say those words?
What's that?
Are we allowed to say his name without getting you shut down?
No. What's his name?
Biden.
Biden, like the President Biden or Resident Biden?
Yeah, Resident Biden. Are we allowed to say that? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You're good.
I don't want to get you shut down. I got you shut down last time.
It's okay.
I don't want to do it again.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so the renter, Biden, who's renting the space,
yeah,
he was a big Biden fan, and we had a bet, you know, and he wanted $1,000 because Biden's going to win the election, and I didn't pay off, and he's like, "You squelched." I said, "No, it's not over." Well, and he just ripped me to apart. He would put all that stuff about Melania posing nude and just rip her apart and all. He was just I won't even go there. Okay. Today, when I saw him, I looked at him. I said, "So, you're still in love with your Biden?" Oh my God! Why did I listen to you? So for him to turn around, this was a banker. For him to turn around, I'm just beyond myself. And now you know what he's doing? He's painting. He has a painting company. So it's just, I got such a kick out of it. I was like, ooh, there is hope.
Did you ever ask him about the quantum financial system and if they have like some rainbow currencies
He
in the
was a
back room?
low-level banker. They don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay.
You know, the tellers and stuff, they're clueless.
Yeah. If there's any bank tellers out there that you accidentally stumbled across pallets of rainbow currency that they're about to release, kindly take videos, send them to us through our channel. And also, I would like to interview you. You could stay incognito. I don't care. Seriously.
Make it anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous. Completely.
Yes, because they get their butts kicked if you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We all get our butts kicked one way or another. So, but you can create everything and do whatever you want. And I'm telling you, Mel, there's so much greatness going on right now. Like I didn't even have to go to court, and I was able to settle out of court because this lovely book says never go to court. So I didn't, and I made an agreement with my adversary, and I walked out way above.
Yeah, I got people in my room right now. I got a gentleman yesterday. I'm not going to mention his name. He's a cool cat. He tries to get us a few people that we're doing podcasts with, what have you. I got about like 9-10 people chasing a bunch of people out there constantly. Oh, you should do a podcast with Mel. But anyway, long story short, he's like, Mel, I owe $35,000 to the government. What should I do? To the IRS. I says, well, you want to know what I would do, or what you? I said, I'm not a tax accountant. I can't give you tax advice. But me personally, I tell them to F off. Zero. Now, pay nothing.
I can tell you something, and I don't know exactly where it is because I have to dig. Like I said, if you turn around all over, I have so many documents everywhere in piles. Yeah. And unless I know exactly what we're going to talk about, I don't bring this stuff out.
Yeah.
But it is written, and don't hang me if I state this incorrectly. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it from old memory.
Right.
But it is written in the IRS code somewhere that if you pay an IRS debt with fiat currency, the IRS people will be arrested. It's illegal to pay your IRS debt with fiat currency.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So I know somebody who went to court and brought that out because the IRS took them to court and said, I will gladly pay it, but then you have to arrest everybody in the IRS. And they dropped it out of the case. They dropped the court case. Now,
yeah, but right now, the IRS building, along with a lot of other buildings, a lot of very important, like Treasury and the Federal Reserve and so on, they're all closed down in Washington, D.C., right?
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting 7 weeks.
Yeah, so why would anybody pay these people?
And here's another thing, people. Just hear these things. It says on the IRS website, call this number. This number is for taxpayers. Do you realize every time you call the IRS, you are admitting you're a taxpayer and you have obligated yourself to pay your IRS bill? If you write them and mail it to you, you're not admitting you're a taxpayer.
Well, I only called once because they owed me money because they had that stimulus check that was supposed to come for everybody. And my check was supposed to be like $3,600. And then we called in and the recording said, no, sorry, sir, you made too much money and it's now $1,800. Then we called back another time and it went down to $1,400. I said to my wife, don't call no more because it might go down to $1,200, you know?
It says it right on the website. If you call in, you're a taxpayer.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's
Look at it. Check it out. It's the phone number is for taxpayers. It says this is a number for taxpayers. And then if you write in, you're not a taxpayer. And like even if you do a natural, there's a difference between natural law trusts, common law trusts, and statutory trusts. If you do any one of those trusts, even if you don't pay taxes, you have to get an EIN to open a bank account, but you still don't have to pay tax on it because you're not obligated under certain trusts. So, but you still got to get an EIN. And I know people waiting 8, 9, 10 weeks and they can't get an EIN.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It took us, we just opened up a corporation called 17 LLC. Okay. That's the name of my corporation.
Okay.
And you know what? It took us like 5 weeks, 6 weeks to get a IEN number.
EIN number, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. They were backed up.
Because I think there's three little old people sitting there,
Yeah,
writing them out and doing the work. There's nobody in there.
exactly.
Nobody's home.
Exactly.
Lights
We
are
are
on, but
we are
nobody's
at the
home.
end. We're definitely at the end of this movie. I mean, I could feel it. I could smell it. I could almost touch
It's
it.
close, but I don't know when. There's a lot of things, and I tell people we can't guess. It will be done in the right timing, because if it's done in the wrong timing, we're just going to create more bedlam.
Uh-huh.
So everything has to be done. If people were to get their money and the system is still up and running, half the people would, maybe more than half, 80% of the people would lose their money.
But
It would be gone.
I've been saying this for 30 years. When I watched 24 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever, that movie, Aaron Russo, America from Freedom to Fascism. Remember that movie? That
I didn't
documentary?
watch it, but I heard of it.
It was great. And I'm like, if everybody just decided, screw you, we're not paying. The whole country just stands up one day, say, we're not paying. That's it. Done. What do? They're going to put everybody in jail?
They can't.
People don't realize how much power they really have.
No, and that's what they want to take it away from you. And, I go about this all the time.
Uh-huh.
Because this is so important. And this is a trust. So if anybody knows, I say this, and I'm going to say this again because it's really important. I've always called this a law book, and most people are asking me, well, how's that the law? But again, it was pronounced the law. It's used for the law, but even more important, if you know about trusts, when you have a trust, in a trust is the indenture. For those people who have trust, they know this. The indenture is the laws of that trust. Everything that the trustee, or if it's a corporate trust, the board of the people's, the board, they all have to follow the indenture. It's the law of the trust. Then there's the beneficiaries. And then there's the covenants. Most trusts have a covenant of privacy. And the reason for a trust is so that the beneficiaries are taken care of. And the trustee makes sure everything and keeps the trust running and makes sure that there's money left for the beneficiaries and they take care of these people. So, and there are different trusts. There's ones where the trustee has more power, but in general, this is a trust. That's why this is a law book. Mm-hmm. If you read the beginning, the indenture is that we have dominion over everything. The beneficiaries are the begets. This guy got beget this guy, and this guy begot this guy. And at the end of all those begets, that one chapter that's almost impossible to read, it says, and all future generations, and for all our heirs. That's the beneficiaries. And then the minutes, when you have a trust, you have to write a minute. If you take money out, if you do this, you got to write minutes of everything you do. As a trustee, you are responsible to keep a whole accounting of everything that you do in that trust. New Testament. This is a trust. So the indenture is the beginning of this book. Therefore, if you claim that this is your belief and you claim this as such, that's why this book becomes a law. Because, let me just take this a little bit further to explain this.
Sure.
There are trusts. I hear people go, oh, my trust wins in court every time. Why was it taken to court? That means you allow your trust to be judged and ruled under statutory law, admiralty law. But if you go to a natural law trust, and the first sentence basically, and I'm just making this very easy, it's a little more complicated than this, but I'll make it very simple. If your trust says in the law, in the indenture, that it is not to be ever seen by anyone else, it is a private document, it cannot end. If anybody, as a trustee, if any first trustee, executive trustee, anybody on the board of the trustees, if anybody reveals any part of this trust to anyone, they will be fined big money, put in jail, or whatever. When there's a problem about the trust and somebody wants you to take it to court, you can't. Because the law states you can't. The trust says you can't. So they never even get to look at it, and it gets thrown out. It's a private document. And so all these people who say, and that's what this is. That's what this is. If you realize what this is, they can't touch you. It can't even go to court. And that's why they make it says right in here, never swear an oath, because if you swear an oath, you're going against the trust. So that's why when you go to court, they put this out. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah, because you're now renouncing your executive trusteeship.
The whole thing is one big hoax. They're bamboozling everybody.
They're trying to teach people that you are powerless and you're a victim. You have more power than they do. You have more power than Satan in your fingertip.
So you and I are literally considered to be outcasts. They hate people like me and you because when we come together, we're like lightning in a bottle. You can't mess with us.
Nah. I can't touch this.
You know, it's unbelievable. But yeah, you know, I've been diving real deep into Nesara for a long time. I've become sort of like a Nesara guru of sort.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and I know it's real because I have had people in my room. I've had people outside of my room. I've had friends of friends who recently got their mortgages forgiven, house mortgages. Unfortunately, won't come on camera. I've had people in our room show documentation of, you know, student loans, car loans, that kind of stuff completely disappearing, credit card debts completely disappearing. Documentation, not bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. And so I know it's real based on what all the videos I've seen, documentaries that are like 3 hours long, 4 hours long. I've read the whole entire website that we offer that's inside our website many times. I believe it's real. I know it's real because I know the people that are around me are showing me real tangible proof, you know, and it's coming. What can you, because there's a lot of new people, Leana, there's a lot of new people coming into the space that are hearing Nesara for the first time. Could you tell the new people what you know about Nesara in 2-3 minutes?
Here's something that I think your people will love. Under Nesara, okay, it's giving back all our rights and whatnot. But under it, you hear all you people involved in like the RV and XRP and whatever. Well, I'll just stick to the RV people, okay? Under Nesara and Nesara, they're telling you it's a private exchange. Oh, they've got rates and all this other shit, and it's a private exchange and yada, yada, yada. Okay. Under Nesara and Nesara, your self-determination, everything you do is a self-determination. And under that, everything is private. There is no public anymore. Public disappears.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go down the path of what public actually means, but it disappears. So everything is private. So just start hearing that, global economic reform, all that good stuff. I'm sorry, it's all private. Why is it private? Because whether I'm a bad guy, I don't have the right to see what you're doing anymore. You have the right to your privacy. You have the right to self-determination. You have the right to make rules and regulations for your own dominion, for your own world. I can't do it for Mel, but I can do it for me. I have that right. It was given to me. This is the highest law in the land, in the air, this is the highest law of the earth. And I have that right. So under Nesara, half the stuff they're telling you is kind of like, they're pacifying people just to get them back to this. But if you get this, you realize that even what they're saying isn't truth. But it'll still eventually get you back to this. It's just a long way to go around it.
One of my favorite movies was The Book of Eli.
Oh, that was a good movie. I like that.
That was a great movie. Were they fighting over that book? Because they were trying to get their hands on a Bible. Was it that version of the Bible?
I don't know, but probably was. It's the 1611. Yeah. All the law was made, and that's when King James, he knew he was losing foothold, and he wanted to gain foothold for the Christians. Christians, not Christians. It was an M, Christ I am. And he wanted to gain foothold. So he said to, his scholars, you better put something together, go gather all this information and put it together. And that's where they came upon this. And that became the law. And that has always been the law because it is the truth. You tell me there's no other book that has lived this long. And I always say to people, if you don't believe me and you don't believe this is a law book, oh, there's so many quotes that in the Bible that tell you it's a law book. If you don't believe that, you tell me how in God's green earth, this may be 500. I'm not going to argue the age of the Bible. Some people say it's 500 years old. Some people say it's 3,000 years old. I'm not arguing it. We'll take the least amount. You tell me how over 500 years ago, when the word person didn't mean what it was, there's so much that says God disrespects a person. And if you use the term person, you are a sinner and you will be judged thusly. So how does a document 500 years old know that we will be incorporated?
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You are absolutely amazing. You know that? You really are.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
All I do is, and I'm telling you, I can't teach anybody anything because you already know it.
Yeah.
And I use this line all the time. It would be like me going up to Jesus going, well, let me tell you something. That's all ego. You can't teach anybody anything. Everybody has it in there. It's in here. We're like ragu. You remember the old commercial? It's in there.
It's in there.
It's all in here.
You know,
Everything we need is in here. But they have taught us, they have brainwashed us to look outside ourselves. Even with, I can't say that word, health things, they want us to go outside ourselves. Don't go outside. You can heal yourself by just lighting up who you are.
Yeah.
It's all done inside. It's not going to get you in trouble.
My brother actually auditioned for that commercial.
Ragu?
It's in there. I swear to God. He took acting classes. And his I forget the name of the actor, but he is the guy who plays the guy who owns the hardware store in Saturday Night Fever. Remember the movie?
I don't remember that. I know the hardware, so I have no idea who that is. I have no idea who that is.
I can't think of the name of the actor, but that was his acting coach.
Wow.
Obviously, he never made it. You know,
he didn't do the commercial.
He never made it as an actor, but he made it as other things. But anyway,
well, that's not true. We're all actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just 100%. Didn't make it in Hollywood, and who wants to?
Yeah, he didn't make it in Hollywood.
Could you imagine if he did?
You don't remember that movie? You don't remember that part of the movie when he was
but I don't know the actor's name.
Yeah, okay, but it's in the beginning of the movie where he asked for a raise or something. Remember that? And then he goes home and he was so proud. He goes, I got a raise today. How much did you get? He got $1 raise. And then he smacks him in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's when he carried the paint cans.
My wife loves that movie, by the way, because when I met my wife and she moved to Costa Rica, I said, listen, you're going to have to understand the Italian culture. She says, what do I have to do? I said, well, you're going to have to watch a few things. I said, you're going to have to watch, The Sopranos. You got to watch The Godfather. You got to watch Saturday Night Fever, and you got to watch Jersey Shore. So, she fell in love with Jersey Shore. She can't get enough of Jersey Shore. She watched Jersey Shore like 5 times.
Is that why you're always wearing a hat? She doesn't understand. You the head?
Yeah, she doesn't understand that we actually created Jersey Shore. We were the original Jersey Shore, except what was it? MTV never came knocking, right? But we were that on steroids. Exactly. Yep. Unbelievable. So
is that why you always wear a hat though? Because she's always cuffing you backside of the head.
No. I want sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't. This is like I got my Amalfi attire on today. It reminds me of when we went to southern Italy. We did the whole southern Italy thing for a month and a half. We went to Amalfi, we went to Positano and Capri, all that area as well. What a gorgeous part of the world, unbelievable, isn't
it?
Yeah.
My family came from Calabria, Fiumicino. Oh my God, San Lucia, beautiful, beautiful. They have a mountain overlooking the whole Mediterranean. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning.
It is
stunning.
But they're destroying the whole earth is stunning. We just got to clean it back up.
We got to get the right people in place, and the other people. We have to rapture them out of here and get them somewhere else, because if you don't belong, you don't belong, right?
Yep. That's why I say, this where we go one, we go all thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't like that, because if Saint Germain believed that, he would have never ascended, right?
Yeah.
Because we have to wait for all of us. So I like to change that to where we go one, in Christ we go all, because those who have the Christ light, and Christ isn't a person, It's an energy. It's the magistrate. It's who you are. Like Jesus' last name.
That's what I keep
Christ.
saying. Everybody, you just said something. Wait, let's back up. You just said Christ. Christ isn't a person. Christ is an energy.
Yes, it's in science. It's because I studied this. In science, it's the photon belt.
But why did they sell this fable-like story that this dude died on a cross for us for all of our sins? Why did they do that?
Requalified. Part of that is truth because they had to requalify the energy. That's how you got rid of karma, because you know what you've created. Energy is not free. You get so much energy. Let's say you get 100 pounds of energy in this embodiment to go from part A to part B, from here to here. And you take all these sidetracks. You do drugs, you do this, you do that. You're all over the place, right? And then you lose your energy. You're out of it. Boop, gone. So now you got to come back and you got to do it again. But you misqualified all that energy. You have to requalify it. So that's what people called was karma. But you don't have to do that because, they knew we'd never get out of this mess. We were in a virtual spiral down. So that's where one of the ascended beings, which happened to be the person we call Jesus, came here and he requalified by beating death. He taught us by beating death that we are expansive and eternal. So he requalified all the misqualified energy of the past. He requalified all the misqualified energy of that present time. And he requalified all the misqualified energy that we were going to come into, that we were going to create. That's why he's called your savior. Because if you don't requalify all that misqualified energy, that's what they call karma. So all you have to do is say, yep, I'm so grateful you did that. And I accept it.
So is that why I got this job now? Because my name is Carmine?
Not Carmine, Karma.
Karma.
Steel Carmine.
Son Carmine. Hey,
Steel Carmine.
But it's like this. You say it's an energy. It's a universal energy. It's like a force, if you will.
It's a life force.
Yeah.
It's consciousness. It's part of the quantum field.
Right.
And it's attached to all of you. It's in your DNA. I did a class on that. I can tell you what each strand does, but it's not a 2-minute thing. It took us many, many hours to do that. But your different strands, your last three strands of your DNA is your divine DNA. And DNA stands for divine natural attributes. They've given you this whole thing. Science, consciousness means science. It's the opposite of science because science is just lies. Lies.
What do you think of this thing where they're trying to get Rogan now? You see, this guy Joe Rogan, he's wishy-washy. You know what I mean? He's wishy-washy. He's like, he goes where the money's at. He's a whore. He's for sale to the highest bidder. That's what he is. Hey, Joe, I'm calling you out, buddy. Okay, so forget about it. So check this out. Now he's backing DeSantis against Trump for 2024. Supposedly, I don't think Trump's going to wait till 2024 to come back. That's my personal opinion. But you think DeSantis has got like a personality of a shoebox.
I told you, I don't ever knock people. So I
don't really care. I mean, I'm very boisterous. I'm very opinionated.
That's your world and that's good. And you can,
he's not an exciting speaker. You can't watch him for more than 2 minutes before you have to change the channel.
Well, some people like that.
Very monotone.
It's a choice. Everything in life is a choice, and they choose.
Yeah, well, I choose Trump.
Well, here's the thing. I'd like to say that Trump is the president. He's the president of the republic.
Yes.
So he's my president.
Yes.
I belong to the republic. I will not answer to the corporation.
Yeah.
So if people keep, and I believe it was you or somebody. I don't remember who I heard this from, but I really like this analogy. If you have a pizza parlor, I think wasn't that you?
Let's see.
If you had a pizza parlor and and you lost your license and you closed down and you turned in the license, it's a corporation, right? The pizza place is a corporation, and you shut your corporation down and you go and you file that you shut your corporation. Well, the next day, everybody comes to your door and wants to buy pizza. You make pizza. Well, that's what's happening to the White House. The corporation's been shut down, but people keep showing up for their pizza.
And nobody's home.
They keep, if you're going to believe Biden is your president, and part of the corporation's been defunct. It's gone. It's non-existent.
Is it him? Because, Trump said, this guy's shot.
No,
right?
that's to awaken the people. This is for people who know what's going on. This is what I call the patriots. I like to start, and the matriots. There's also matriots. We're not all patriarchal. We're matriarchal too. So we have matriots and patriots. And these are the men and women of this
very tribal
world. Great world, right?
Yeah.
And they're awakened. So they know what's going on. But the ones who don't, you're going to blow their mind. It's going to be an explosion like they can't hear. So you can't just take these people out. Could you imagine the chaos without proving? They're not going to show that. Everything had to be done behind scenes. And then they'll slowly. And that's okay. But for the rest of the people who have the divinity and they know who they are and they claim their divine righteousness, we can catapult forward out of here.
Yeah, well, I understand that. But right now we are where we stand, and we gotta turn this thing around, because there's no way, I don't think you can go to 2024 without having some major chaos.
But again, it depends on the people. If the people don't start fighting that hour, and I don't want to say fighting, but the way I look at fighting is what you focus on. Okay. If you don't start creating the narrative yourself that Trump is your president and this was stolen, they stole our dominion. You just have to stand up for yourselves, and all these people, and not to knock you, but these corporations, you can't own the corporation or you're still in the corporation. Corporations, you've got to have trust, but whatever. I'm not going there.
It's all going to go away. We're going under a different rule. Everything's going to go away. Everything.
But you still will have to claim what you want. They're going to make it a playing field, a flat, clean playing field.
A level playing field. Trump says that a million times.
They're going to make it a clear playing field. But if you still want to show up to the dead corporate pizza parlor, knock your socks off. It's your choice. We have free will. And if you choose not to claim your divinity and still focus on money as your redemption, that annoys me more than anything. How dare you call money a redemption? But that's what they're calling it. So where is that coming from? Is that divine or not?
Yeah. Are there some people that have started to receive the GCR and they have been signed under non-disclosure agreements, you think? Or you think that's hogwash?
Nesara has a lot of steps to it. It's not a one-time thing. There's a lot of steps into it. And many of those steps are aligned with, oh my goodness, help me out. You would know this. 20 and 19 that they passed for the currency, the crypto. What's that called? They just passed it. 19.
Oh, the Protocol 19?
Thank you, Protocol. That was the word I was looking for. A lot of GSARA, there's all these steps in GSARA. There's a GSARA step 19, Protocol 19. There's a GSARA step 20, Protocol 20. They're all part of the Nesara and GSARA.
Right, and Protocol 19 has to do...
So it's not going to happen overnight. And when all this happens, it's not going to be cleared up.
So for right now, we're on a 2,000-mile runway, for example. We got the plane, and we got to go full throttle and get that son of a bitch off airborne. And we're probably, I think, at mile 300 still. We got 1,700 miles to go.
We haven't even considered pulling back on the throttle yet.
Right, exactly. We're not full throttle yet. I keep saying, correct me if you think I'm wrong. That's okay. I've been wrong before. And I'm probably going to be wrong a lot. But I'm saying for XRP, for the XDC, for the XLM, for the Lobster, for the quantum financial system, for GSARA to be literally lifted off the runway, like I said, we got 1,700 miles to go, is going to be 2025. Full.
It's possible. I'm not. That's not my world of where I focus on, so I don't know. So I will trust.
There's too many moving parts. I
can tell you that everybody thinks everything's so bad. Well, they're still doing the CB. What is that? The CB.
CBDCs, central bank digital currencies.
Yes, they're still pushing.
Never going to happen.
We're not clear.
The central bank digital currency is going to be unique to each country because they want to have their own identity, at least for a little while. But the central bank digital currency will never see the light of day Why? Because we become our own banks.
It's not, it's centralized. It has to be decentralized, and that's what blockchain is
well,
about.
if they want what the bankers are trying. This is why there's struggle. This is why the market manipulation. This is why I'm not answering my mother.
Hi,
Mom. So the facts are that they, like I said in many videos, they want a programmable money. They want you to have, a certain amount of money you could buy popcorn with, certain amount of money you could buy chicken with, certain amount of money you could buy. And when you run out of your popcorn, when you run out of your popcorn money, you can't use your snake money to buy your popcorn, or vice versa.
That's how they will blackmail you and enslave you so hard. They will have such control on you, and that's how they will get to chip people.
That's what they want. But they're not going to get what they want.
No,
that's why the struggle.
But to say we're there, if we were there, the CBDC would not even.
If we were there, the market cap would be like $999 trillion right now.
Yes, and those words, the CBD, the centralized banks, those words wouldn't even be used anymore, because banks are not going to be banks. I don't know if you get this.
They're going to be exchanges. They're going to be custodianship for your digital assets.
Because people will still need assistance, and they're going to eventually go away permanently.
They will. Some banks will survive. I believe one of them happens to be the one I bank with, which is Bank of America, because they are literally up to their eyebrows, because they are, I know, but they are partners with Ripple.
Okay? They're into a lot of things, because CMKX is even involved with
it. There'll be 3-4 major banks that survive, and the rest of them are going to go bye-bye. And then eventually there'll be just a few custodianship that hold your money, and you're going to have your phone, and you're going to get a code, and you're going to do an eye retina scan, a thumb print scan, whatever. Someone's going to call you.
It will be complete privacy.
Yes. You want to get into your account? Give us the text that we just sent you. You punch in those letters and whatever numbers. Done. You're into your account. It's going to be as easy as having your bank account. Right now, it's difficult because they don't want you guys to have it. Period. It's just that simple.
The word difficult just means a different culture. You're going to learn to change your culture.
Yes.
And then it'll be grace and ease with everything. Yep. But I would like to put out, because you're going to get me in trouble with my my members, because I don't discuss any of this. I stay on because all this is a distraction.
Yeah. Well, but we got to educate people so that they can understand and read between the lines and understand how you're being bamboozled and how they're trying to get over you, etc.
How to comprehend. But yes, so all this, my members, we don't go down this road, and I refuse to go down this road with my members. We just our common unity. So we just stick to the quantum field, and we stick to making us remembering who we are, taking back our power. And I have watched people do amazing things, and their lives are completely changed. They're all in peace. Nobody's worried. It's just a great common unity. And that's what everybody should focus on. This is all good, and it's all nice. It's facts. It's information. It's just that information. It keeps you in formation. You're a good little boy or girl. You're a good soldier because you're in formation. But it's just stuff. And it's all distracting. So don't attach to it, and bring yourself to the light that you are. Attach yourself to the Christ consciousness, and you won't have fear. And then there's all these people, this, Mel, that all they care about is the rate, the date, when, where, what, how much, how to get there. That's not what it's about.
Yeah. You know what it's about? I always tell everybody, stay in positive cash flow. Keep that money rolling in. Keep buying the dip. Keep hodling, and when it happens, you'll know. Because when the boys and girls upstairs need XRP to be 50,000 or 100,000, it's going to go so fast, it's going to make your head spin. Not because of your convenience, not because they're trying to make Leana and Mel rich, because of their convenience, because it's go time. When it's go time, you'll know. So in the meantime, we offer great business opportunities. We always put them down below, by the way. And, you join a great business opportunities. Maybe you like the painkiller fancy blow dryer we have, or maybe you like the Wombat opportunity, etc. You go make some money. Okay. You got $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a week coming in. You don't worry about when it's going to happen, because you got cash flow coming in. You got money to go on vacation. You're eating big fat steaks, even though the price is doubled and tripled. It doesn't matter. When you get that kind of money coming in, you can eat steaks and you can still eat shrimp and you can still eat lobster, right?
Yep. And when you
Keep
get
your bills
past
paid.
that,
Keep your bills paid. Have excess cash to reinvest. Go on vacation. Go on a honeymoon with your wife, your girlfriend, your mistress, whatever. Go do what you got to do.
and when you get past that, you can create everything for yourself. I have people who have created a car and they didn't pay for it. It was just brought to them. When you learn to create out of the substrate by the vibration of who you are, everything and anything is possible. Absolutely. You're never in lack. You have to get rid of that lack mentality. You know, I have this little pillow that I use for my back all the time, but I'm going to put it out there. You know, it's an old thing. What would Jesus do? You have to start thinking that you are like that. You are the creator. You think Yeshua worried about money. You think Yeshua worried, or Yahweh or Jesus or Emmanuel, whatever you want to call him. You think they worried about this stuff? No, because you can create it. And if you want to create it through the experience, like Mel's having a blast with, I know you're having a blast with all this.
I'm having the time of my life.
This is what he wants to create, and he's doing a marvelous job with it.
Yeah.
But not everybody is a Mel.
And if we can get our UFOs and what do we call it? YouTube would stop messing with me.
Oh, please. They shut me down so many times.
It'd be wonderful. Gina has got the personality to open up her own YouTube channel, no question, or her own Rumble channel, whatever. And she's very well versed. She's educated. She's a tough Sicilian, you know. She's got the Sicilian going, you know. And she
what is this?
The market, the market is alive. You know, the market is alive. The market tells you, hey, we like Mel. Hey, we don't like Mel. So Mel's got to go away. See, it's if you open up a channel and you get stuck at like 2,000 people and you're there for like, I know a bunch of channels like that, where you're stuck at like 2,000 people and you're still making videos like every day or every other day or, you know, 3 videos a week, whatever. And you're still stuck at 2,000 and it's been 3-4 years. The market has a hard time with you. Maybe you should find another line of work. You know what I mean? But the market is alive. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to say goodbye to the audience because I want to talk to you privately.
Bravo, guys.
We have to have a sit down privately. Guys,
here we go again.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you on the next one. Leana was great. We're going to have her back more often. Hopefully not 2 months from now, but hopefully 2-3 weeks from now.
Oh, so what I'm going to do is still invite everybody. Come to our quantum meditations on Sunday. It's free. You just come. We have to live stream now because we've outdone Zoom. So just go to powerpassionfreedom.com, top left corner. You can sign up. I don't have it posted tonight. I'll get it done. But yeah, come. And if you're interested in going and getting your sovereignty, the negate ab initio. If you're interested in getting out of the system and out of the corporation, just put your email on as we go forward with these documents that
How do they find you, Leana?
Powerpassionfreedom.com.
Say it slowly.
Oh, that's New York in me. Powerpassionfreedom.com.
Perfect.
Here, beautiful. Somebody gave me this. Isn't this nice? These people give me nice gifts.
I love it. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on the next one.
Love you all. Be well.